There are certain phrases that carry more power than meets the eye. Words that, when spoken with calm certainty and true self-awareness, can shift the entire dynamic between you and a woman. This isn't about cheesy pickup lines or manipulation. This is about presence. It's about embodying a mindset so strong, so grounded, and so rare that just a few words can spark curiosity, desire, and deep emotional attraction. In a world where most men chase, explain, and overcompensate just to be noticed, the man who remains calm, centered, and selective stands out like a flame in the dark. Stoicism teaches us that true strength comes from within, not from loud words or bold gestures, but from restraint, confidence, and intention. When you speak from that space, every word matters. And when you say this phrase correctly, confidently, and at the right moment, it creates a powerful shift. It tells her you're not like the rest, that you're not here to beg for attention, but to offer something real, something deeper. This video will break down exactly why this phrase is so magnetic, how to say it, when to say it, and most importantly, how to back it up with your behavior. Because attraction isn't built on trying harder. It's built on becoming the kind of man who doesn't need to try at all. So if you're ready to understand what makes a woman truly lean in, not just physically, but emotionally, watch closely. You're about to learn one of the most powerful communication tools a high-value man can ever use. Number 1, you have a unique way about you. I like that. This phrase might seem simple, but when delivered with genuine presence and a calm, grounded tone, it becomes incredibly powerful. Why? Because it speaks directly to something almost every woman craves: to feel seen, not just looked at. Most compliments are shallow. They comment on physical beauty or throw out generic praise like, "You're pretty" or "You're cute." Those words fade fast because they don't touch anything meaningful. But when you say, "You have a unique way about you," I like that. You're not just complimenting her looks. You're recognizing her essence. You're saying, there's something about your energy, your style, the way you carry yourself, that stands out. And that kind of attention is rare. It hits deeper because it implies you're observant, you're not easily impressed, and you're paying attention beyond the surface. This creates an emotional impact. She starts to wonder, what did he see in me? What makes me unique in his eyes? And that curiosity leads her to invest more emotionally. You've planted a seed of intrigue, and now she wants to be known by you. That's where the attraction grows. But here's the key. Your delivery matters just as much as the words. If you say this while seeking approval or trying to win her over, it loses all its power. But if you say it slowly, with relaxed confidence, maybe after a quiet moment, or after she's just shared a thought or made a subtle move, it lands completely differently. Your tone should say, "I see you, and I like what I see, but I don't need anything from you in return." That kind of grounded presence communicates value. It signals that you're selective, not desperate. That you give compliments not to gain something, but because you genuinely mean them. And when a woman senses that kind of authenticity, she lowers her guard and becomes more drawn to your energy. So remember, this isn't just a line. It's an invitation for her to show more of who she is. Say it with calm certainty. Let it breathe in the silence. Watch how her posture shifts. Watch how the energy between you changes. Because in that moment, you're not just another guy. You're the one who truly sees her. Number 2, I like women who know what they want. This phrase might sound like a compliment on the surface, and it is. But underneath, it's a powerful frame setter. It's not just about her. It's about you communicating your standards, your mindset, and what you respect in a partner. And that's what makes it so magnetic. Most men approach women with a "please like me" energy. They try to mold themselves to what they think she wants. But when you say, "I like women who know what they want," you're doing the exact opposite. You're not chasing approval. You're filtering. You're letting her know that not everyone qualifies for your time and energy. You're implying, "I value clarity. I value direction. I value confidence. And if you don't bring that, I'm probably not interested." This creates a subtle but powerful shift in dynamic. Now you're not the one chasing. She's evaluating herself through your lens. Do I seem like a woman who knows what she wants? Does he see that in me? Now she's working to meet your standard, even if only subconsciously. It also speaks to emotional maturity. Most people, men and women, are indecisive, unsure, or stuck in patterns of avoidance. When you say this, you're setting yourself apart. You're showing that you respect decisiveness and emotional intelligence. You're showing that you don't want drama, games, or uncertainty. You want real connection, led by people who are intentional. But here's the real power. It invites her to rise. You're not pressuring her. You're not demanding anything. You're just clearly stating what you're drawn to. And the right kind of woman, the high-value woman who actually does know what she wants, will be intrigued, even excited, to prove she fits that vision. Again, delivery is everything. Say this not as a compliment you're hoping she'll earn, but as a calm statement of your taste. Say it with subtle admiration, as if you're observing a rare and beautiful quality. For example, after she makes a bold move, shares a clear opinion, or makes a confident decision, lean in slightly and say, "I like women who know what they want." Then pause. Let the energy settle. That silence you hold, that moment where you don't rush to fill the gap or soften the statement, that's when the phrase lands deepest. Because in that moment, she feels your certainty, and certainty is attractive. So don't use this as a throwaway line. Use it as a reflection of your own clarity. You know what you want. You're not afraid to say it. And when you find someone who meets you at that level, you recognize and respect it. That energy, it's rare and unforgettable. Number 3, that's what I like most about you. This phrase carries quiet power. At first glance, it sounds like a compliment. And yes, it is. But when delivered with intention, it becomes something much deeper. It creates a moment of emotional connection, vulnerability, and subtle dominance, all at once. Why? Because most men give compliments to get something. They flatter in hopes of receiving affection, validation, or attention. It feels transactional. But when you say, "That's what I like most about you," with calm certainty and no need for return, it hits differently. It doesn't come from a place of needing approval. It comes from having standards. This phrase tells her, "I'm paying attention. I see you. I notice the things about you that others overlook." It creates a moment of emotional precision. You're not just saying you're hot or you're pretty. You're pinpointing a quality, something rare, specific, real. Maybe it's the way she laughs without apology. Maybe it's how focused she is when she talks about her goals. Maybe it's her honesty, her intensity, her kindness, her edge. Whatever it is, you name it, and that's the spark. And here's the magic. When a woman feels truly seen, she starts to open. She relaxes, she leans in. You've shown that you're not just there for surface-level attraction. You're capable of emotional depth, and that makes her want to reveal more of herself, not less. But here's what makes the phrase truly powerful. You say it without expectation. You're not fishing for a compliment back. You're not trying to escalate things physically. You're simply stating what you value. And because you're calm, composed, and grounded when you say it, the compliment lands with weight, not desperation. Let's talk delivery. Timing matters. You don't blurt this out randomly. You wait for a moment when she's being real, when she drops the social mask and reveals something true. That's when you lean in slightly, hold eye contact, and say softly, "That's what I like most about you." Then pause. Let it hang. Let the silence do the work. Because in that moment, you're not just flattering her, you're marking her. You've seen something valuable and you named it. That's unforgettable. Here's the deeper truth. This phrase positions you as a man who doesn't hand out attention freely. You observe, you filter, and when you speak, it means something. That's rare, that's powerful, that's Stoic energy. So use this phrase when it matters, when the connection is real, when the vibe is right. Use it to show her that your compliments are earned, not thrown around. That's how you move from being just another guy to being the one she remembers. Number 4, keep a calm and confident tone. This isn't a phrase, it's a presence, a signal, a psychological weapon, and it's one of the most overlooked traits that instantly separates high-value men from the rest. Why? Because while words matter, how you say something often speaks louder than the words themselves. In a world filled with noise, attention-seeking, over-explaining, and anxious energy, a man who communicates with calm confidence stands out like a lighthouse in a storm. He doesn't need to raise his voice. He doesn't rush to fill silence. He doesn't fidget or overreact. He speaks deliberately, as if his words are worth listening to, because they are. Let's break it down. When you speak with calm confidence, you're telling the world, and especially her, that you're in control of yourself. And nothing is more attractive to a woman than emotional control. Not fake dominance, not arrogance, but true composure. It tells her, I don't chase chaos. I won't be easily shaken. I'm centered, and if you want access to me, you'll have to meet me at this level. Women are intuitive. They don't just hear your words, they feel your energy. If your tone is needy, anxious, or unsure, even if your words are clever or sweet, she'll sense that insecurity underneath. But when your voice carries calm authority, when you can say something simple and still make it feel powerful, she leans in. Here's an example. You say, I like that about you. If you say it nervously, she might smile politely. But if you look her in the eye, let your voice drop just slightly and say it slowly, calmly, like you truly mean it, everything changes. That calm delivery isn't just attractive, it's magnetic. And don't mistake calm for boring. It doesn't mean dull or emotionless. It means grounded. You can be intense, passionate, even flirtatious, but your core remains unmoved. Your calmness becomes the anchor of the entire interaction. And that's a rare experience for most women. A man who doesn't get pulled around by their reactions or emotions. Let's take it even deeper. This kind of tone is rooted in self-worth. A calm voice says, I don't need to impress you. I already know my value. That alone changes everything. It puts you in the frame of being the chooser, not the one trying to be chosen. And it shifts the power dynamic without ever being forceful. So, how do you develop this? Breathe. Speak from your chest, not your throat. Pause. Don't rush your sentences. Let your words land. Hold eye contact. Show that you're present and unshaken. Cut out filler words. No, like, or, you know. Speak with precision. Let silence work for you. Don't fear the pause. It builds tension. It builds interest. The truth is, when you keep a calm and confident tone, everything you say becomes more powerful. Even simple phrases like, "I'm not that easy," or "You're interesting," start to carry weight, depth, and tension. You create space for attraction to grow. This is Stoicism in action. Inner stillness, outer strength. No need to prove anything, just presence. And presence, not performance, is what creates emotional impact. Number 5, I don't know if you can handle me. This phrase is a bold declaration, but it's not about arrogance or making grandiose claims. It's about communicating selectivity and confidence in your complexity. When you say, "I don't know if you can handle me," you're not being dismissive or standoffish. Instead, you're making it clear that you know your own worth, your depth, and your boundaries, and that not everyone is equipped to handle it. The power behind the phrase. At its core, "I don't know if you can handle me," is an intriguing challenge that piques curiosity. It's not about being rude or boastful. It's about inviting her to engage at a deeper level, while subtly signaling that you're not here for something superficial or easy. This is a classic power play, because you're making the decision on your terms. The key here is delivery. How you say this phrase is just as important as the words themselves. If you say it with a sense of playfulness and not arrogance, it immediately makes her wonder, what makes him think I can't handle him? And this curiosity is powerful. Now she's emotionally invested, wanting to prove herself, wanting to step into your world. Why this works? It establishes your value. By saying, "I don't know if you can handle me," you're essentially saying, "I am worth more than a casual encounter." You're not trying to impress her with a facade or force attention. You're signaling that your time, energy, and attention are limited and only available to someone who is truly up for the challenge. This sets you apart from most men who are desperate for validation and quick to over-explain themselves. It creates intrigue. Humans are naturally curious. When you say this, you're opening the door to mystery. Why wouldn't she be able to handle you? What does that even mean? This moment of uncertainty plays with her mind in the best possible way. She's now trying to figure out what you're about. What makes you so different from the other men she meets? Instead of her just trying to impress you, she's now pursuing a deeper connection to understand you more. It encourages self-respect. The phrase also shows you respect yourself. It's a subtle way of saying that you're not looking for anyone who is just there for the superficial. This self-respect is magnetic because it sends a message that you don't need her validation. You're open to a meaningful connection, but only if she can keep up with the depth you bring. It gives her something to chase. When you say, "I don't know if you can handle me," you're not only setting the tone for who you are, but you're also subtly shifting the power dynamic. Instead of you chasing her or trying to impress her, you are positioning yourself as the prize. This challenges her to prove her worth, not through forced effort, but through genuine interest and emotional investment. It shows emotional control. What's really powerful here is the emotional control this phrase suggests. You're not worried if she's able to handle you or not. You're calm, collected, and unbothered by her reactions. This is attractive because it shows you are comfortable with yourself and your own value. You're not trying to convince her of anything. You simply are, and that's enough. How to deliver it? Say it with confidence, not bravado. It's easy to go overboard and sound cocky or overly confident, but the true power lies in subtlety. Speak with a calm, composed tone that suggests you are confident in your complexity, but not overestimating your worth. This makes the phrase feel authentic, not like a show-off statement. Pause after you say it. Don't rush to fill the silence after you drop this line. Let it sink in. Watch her reaction. She might smile, laugh, or even raise an eyebrow. But whatever it is, you remain calm and unbothered. That pause allows the message to resonate more deeply. Use it sparingly. Don't overuse this line. This is a high-value phrase that packs a punch. You don't want to sound like you're saying it constantly to every woman. Instead, use it when the moment calls for it, when there's a genuine reason for her to wonder if she's up for the challenge. This maintains its power and avoids it becoming a cliché. The result: when you use this phrase with confidence, clarity, and a calm demeanor, you shift the power dynamic. You're no longer in the position of needing to impress her. Instead, you've communicated that you are a unique, multi-layered individual with your own boundaries and standards. In doing so, you make it clear that if she wants to be a part of your life, she has to bring something substantial to the table. She has to earn your attention, respect, and time, just as you should always demand in return for yours. In essence, "I don't know if you can handle me" becomes a selective filter for her, for you, and for the potential of what could blossom between you both. Number 6, I'm not that easy. I'm not that easy is a phrase that combines confidence, mystery, and a subtle boundary-setting element. It's not meant to be a defensive statement or an insult. Instead, it's a powerful way of letting someone know that you are not easily won over. By saying this, you set a standard of selectivity that commands respect without being confrontational or aggressive. The power behind the phrase. At its core, "I'm not that easy" is about self-respect and boundaries. It's an acknowledgement that your attention, time, and affection are valuable and should not be handed out to anyone who simply comes your way. You're signaling to the other person that there is a price to access, and that price is effort, respect, and sincerity. The phrase doesn't have to be said in a rude or overly serious way. In fact, it works best when said with a touch of playfulness or confidence, not as a challenge but as a statement of fact. It is a way of setting the tone for the interaction without turning it into a power struggle. Why this works? It demonstrates self-respect by saying, "I'm not that easy." You're making it clear that you value yourself. You're not looking to rush into anything without careful thought or consideration. This automatically sets you apart from those who chase validation or give away their attention at the drop of a hat. It says, "I'm not desperate for attention. If I give you my time or energy, it means something." It shows you have standards. This phrase lets the other person know that you have standards and are not easily impressed. Instead of being a pushover or someone who folds at the first sign of attraction, you're stating that your company is worth earning. You don't just give your attention away, you choose who is deserving of it. This naturally draws people to you because you have a filter that makes your presence more valuable. It creates intrigue and challenge. Saying, "I'm not that easy," also sparks curiosity and challenge. People, especially women, love a challenge. When you say this, it immediately makes them wonder, what makes him so confident? What is he all about? This intrigue builds emotional tension, which in turn increases attraction. You're not chasing after them. They're now chasing after you to figure you out and prove themselves worthy of your attention. It signals emotional control. This phrase also shows that you are emotionally self-sufficient and under control. You're not desperately trying to get someone's approval or attention. You're not reacting to their interest like a typical person might. This kind of calm confidence is magnetic because it shows you're unbothered by their flirtation or attention. Your value is clear. You're not a pawn in a game. You're in control of your own emotions and actions. It establishes healthy boundaries. Saying, "I'm not that easy," is a subtle way of establishing boundaries. You're telling the other person that just because they show interest doesn't mean you're automatically going to reciprocate. Instead of feeling obligated to reciprocate any attention or charm thrown your way, you calmly establish that your company has to be earned, not given freely. This is a boundary that protects your time, emotional energy, and attention from being wasted on someone who doesn't deserve it. How to deliver it? Confidence is key. When you say, "I'm not that easy," deliver it with confidence. Your tone should be calm and steady, not defensive, not arrogant. The phrase should feel like a natural expression of your mindset, not something rehearsed or forced. You're not asserting superiority. You're simply stating a fact about your value. Use playfulness to lighten the mood. If appropriate for the situation, adding a touch of playfulness to the delivery can soften the edge of the phrase. For example, a subtle smile or light chuckle can show that you're not being overly serious or confrontational. You're simply acknowledging the dynamics of the situation in a way that doesn't make the other person feel judged or rejected. Don't over-explain. After you say, "I'm not that easy," don't rush to fill the silence with an explanation or unnecessary justification. Let the phrase sink in. This pause creates tension and gives the other person time to reflect on the message you just conveyed. They'll either be intrigued or uncomfortable, but either way, the dynamic will have shifted in your favor. Timing is everything. This phrase works best in moments where the person is making an overt move on you, either physically or emotionally. For example, if someone is being too forward, or if they assume they have you figured out too quickly, this phrase can act as a reset button. It's a way of saying, "Hold on, let's slow things down." Use it when the situation calls for it, and when you feel the need to assert your boundaries. The result. When you use the phrase, "I'm not that easy," you immediately shift the power dynamics in your favor. You're not chasing validation or trying to win anyone over. You're calmly communicating that your attention, time, and energy are precious, and only the right person can earn them. This shift in dynamic can be incredibly attractive because it shows strength, emotional control, and a clear sense of self-worth. The person you're engaging with knows that you're not going to fall for their charm just because they're showing interest. Instead, they must invest more and prove their value to you. Over time, this can build mystery around you. As you remain grounded and selective, others will see you as a high-value individual, a person who knows their worth and doesn't give it away freely. And because of this, people will be naturally drawn to you. "I'm not that easy" isn't just a phrase. It's a mindset, one that puts you in control of your life, your relationships, and your interactions. Number 7, I don't chase, I attract. The phrase, "I don't chase, I attract," is a powerful declaration of your mindset, self-worth, and approach to life. It speaks volumes about your emotional control, your confidence, and the high standards you set for yourself and the people you allow into your life. When you say this, you are making it clear that you're not in pursuit of validation, approval, or anyone's attention because you don't need it. The power behind the phrase, "I don't chase, I attract," is not just about romantic relationships. It's a reflection of your overall attitude toward life. It's about adopting an abundance mentality rather than a scarcity mindset. When you chase, you're acting from a place of lack, hoping that someone will recognize your worth and validate it. When you attract, you're simply being yourself and letting people naturally gravitate towards you because of the value you offer and the energy you exude. The essence of this phrase is about confidence and emotional independence. You don't need to chase anyone's attention because you are already comfortable in your own skin. You don't have to try too hard or constantly prove your worth. Instead, you know that the right people will be drawn to you because you offer something unique: authenticity, depth, and self-assurance. Why this works: it shows emotional independence. I don't chase, I attract. Signals that you're emotionally independent. You are not dependent on anyone's validation or affection to feel good about yourself. This is highly attractive because it indicates that you have a strong sense of self-worth. You are not seeking someone to fill an emotional void. Instead, you are whole and complete on your own. It reflects a strong sense of self-worth. When you say, "I don't chase, I attract," you're essentially saying, "I don't need to beg for attention. My worth is already established, and I know who I am." People who chase after others often come across as needy or desperate, whereas those who attract are viewed as secure, grounded, and in control. This is a powerful energy to give off, and one that draws people to you naturally. It demonstrates a high standard for relationships. By saying you don't chase, you're implicitly stating that you have high standards for the people you allow into your life. You're not willing to settle for someone who doesn't appreciate you or who doesn't meet your standards. Instead, you attract those who are equally confident, secure, and interested in you because of what you bring to the table. This sets the frame for healthier, more genuine relationships based on mutual respect. It creates an air of mystery and challenge. When you stop chasing and start attracting, you automatically create an air of mystery. People don't know exactly what you want or need, which makes them more intrigued and interested in figuring you out. The fact that you don't chase after anyone adds a level of challenge, making people want to work harder to earn your attention. This dynamic, in turn, increases attraction because people are naturally drawn to what's not easy to obtain. It signals emotional control and calm, showing "I don't chase, I attract" also signals emotional control and calmness. You are not easily swayed by emotions or external validation. Whether someone is showing interest or pulling away, you remain calm and centered. This emotional stability makes you more magnetic because you're not reacting impulsively or out of insecurity. You're choosing to engage when it feels right for you, not because you're desperate for validation. How to deliver it? Confidence and calm. Just like with the previous phrases, delivery is everything. When you say, "I don't chase, I attract," say it with confidence and calmness. Don't say it as if it's a challenge or a boast, but as a statement of fact. Let the other person know that you are secure and self-assured, and that you are comfortable in your own skin. Say it with a calm smile. A slight smile can add warmth to the statement. This isn't about arrogance, it's about expressing your belief in your own worth. The key is to keep it light, grounded, and easygoing, while still maintaining that aura of confidence. Let it sink in. Don't rush to add more words after saying, "I don't chase, I attract." Allow the statement to sit with the other person for a moment. This gives them time to process what you've said, and it also builds a bit of mystery. It's like saying, "I'm here if you're interested, but I'm not going to chase you down." Use it at the right moment. This phrase works best when someone is testing you, trying to get your attention, or perhaps trying to draw you into their orbit. Instead of acting needy or chasing after them, you calmly assert your stance. You don't need to chase anyone. They can either come to you or move on. This sends a clear message that you're not desperate or dependent on anyone to feel good about yourself. The result: when you embrace the mindset of "I don't chase, I attract," your whole approach to relationships and interactions changes. You stop running after validation or constantly seeking approval, and instead, you stand firm in your own value. As a result, you naturally draw people toward you, whether it's in romantic relationships, friendships, or professional situations. This mindset shifts the power dynamic in your favor. You're no longer in pursuit of someone else's interest or affection. Instead, you're confidently letting them come to you, attracted by your calm, grounded, and authentic energy. It makes you more mysterious, more attractive, and more magnetic, because people can feel that you have standards and that your time and attention are valuable. Ultimately, "I don't chase, I attract" isn't just about romantic relationships. It's a reflection of your approach to life. By adopting this mindset, you make yourself a person who attracts success, respect, and genuine connections because you know that you don't have to chase after what is meant for you. It will come to you naturally when the time is right.